Thank you very much for all of you viewers who sent us in suggestions and requests to do shows on certain topics. Really do appreciate that, and we try very hard to kind of match them all up, and of course we can never get to them all, but again, thank you. And here's a guy, for instance, that sent a request in. He wanted me to chime in on Tommy Robertson's situation in the United Kingdom, and that one's a little hard for me. One, I haven't researched it yet, and two, I didn't even know who he was, and apparently he's a former announcer or personality from The Rebel in Canada. And I hate to say this, but I've never watched The Rebel. I'm going to someday. I think Ezra and all the guys there, I mean, from what I understand at least, is they're really pushing on the right-wing agenda, and I think that's fantastic because we need all the help we can get, we being Canadians, Americans, world residents, because, you know, there's a conspiracy going on, there's an agenda going on, it's us against them, and so I think it's great. This Tommy Robinson apparently was a big part of that. I guess he's quite a right-wing guy, and I'm going to watch his videos after. I shouldn't be doing this talk about him now, probably, since I know so little, but I do know that the press now is talking about it, and everything's kind of falling into place, so I'll give it another talk here another day. At the bottom of all my emails that I send out to people, I have this little slogan or caption that I put in years ago, and I hardly ever get any pushback or even comment about it. And I get a lot of emails personally from politicians and other people, and at the bottom of their email they always say, you know, think of the environment before you print this off, right? And so here's my little caption. It's okay to print this email. Paper is a biodegradable, renewable, sustainable product made from trees. Growing and harvesting trees provides jobs for millions and millions of men and women. Working forests are good for the environment also. They provide clean air, clean water, and carbon storage. Those who say to not print emails are dumb little green people. And just the other day, I actually had a comment from a politician, and he called me, and he said, I'm one of those dumb little green people. And I started to laugh, and I said, oh, I see. And he says, you know what? You are right. And I said, good, you're going to change your email? He says, I can't. I'm a Canadian politician, because all of us have that there. And I said, but of course you can. You just said that it's proper. It makes sense. And he said, but I can't. My leader would be mad at me, and I might get kicked out. And I said, this isn't a good way to end the conversation on the phone. It started kind of nice. Green leader Elizabeth May, another green kind of person, she was recently fined 1,500 smackaroos for contempt in a pipeline arrest, right? She should be in jail. She shouldn't have got fined, put her so far in prison, you got to feed her with a slingshot. She's actually an attorney by trade or by profession. She knows better. She's gone through this. She's been to the movie before, and she does it again and again. I mean, she's just contemptible. That's not very nice what she does, and she should have had a much bigger fine. If I would have been there, they probably would put me in jail. Hey. CNN contributor April Ryan, I think she's black, I'm not sure about that. She's been criticized for alerting her Twitter followers, close to 500,000 of them. You know, if there's nothing new, if you don't have a piece of gossip that to hurt the Trump administration, you should create one or make it up as you go along. And so she did that. And now she's saying, I think Trump and his administration is involved in a child sex trafficking. Really? Where do you come up with this stuff? So, of course, that takes up a bunch of room in the press and everything else. I mean, these people are so out of control, they should all be put in an airplane or a big boat and shipped to some foreign place, and with a big fence put around them and leave them there. Parachute food in now and again. Here's a Liberal MP in Canada who is black, and her name I'll never pronounce, Selena Caesar Shabab, and she plays her color a lot, according to Maxime Bernier, who is a member of Parliament also in Canada out of Quebec, and she calls him names and he calls her names, and she goes on to say, you know, that my color has kind of been a hurtful thing to me in Canada, and he says you're using your color all of the time and kind of get over yourself, and then she goes on to call him sweetheart, referred to him as sweetheart. Well, had he done that to her, it would have been a real problem. I don't get this color issue. I really don't. I mean, occasionally, I guess I understand in the sense that occasionally as a white person, I can tell that I'm not welcome in large groups of black people or different colors of people, but I just move to another group, right? And then a lot of them are friendly, and then I can go to a white group, and typically they're friendly, and often they're not as well. So I don't think it's about color. I think it's about playing that race card all of the time, and these politicians do that. I guess to swing away over and say that, hey, you're right, lady, you really have had a really tough life because you're black. Well, then why don't you move back to a black country? Why are you here if you actually believe that? If you feel that, what are you doing? I mean, because most people in Canada are white, so go to a country where most people are black, and then maybe you'll be treated better. And you don't. You just want to tell us about it all the time. So again, that's left-wing liberal politics, and I think it drives most people crazy. Certainly does me. I'm colorblind. Everybody's colorblind, but I know at least, except the people like her of color that continually bring it up. I mean, why don't you go build a bridge or do something constructive in the country? Quit talking about dumb things. Hey, I'll come back. See ya.